Bill Shrewsberry, and I am President, Chief Executive Officer, Shrewsberry and Associates. I've always been an entrepreneur. I can remember myself, even before my teenage years, just cutting grass. Through high school, I was delivering newspapers. I was in the Navy for 4 years. I worked for Indiana Bell, corporate America. I became president of the city council in state government. I was commissioner of Department of Administration. I had 600 employees. And just before starting Shrewsberry, I was a deputy mayor for the city of Indianapolis. Somewhere along the line, I've always had this desire to start my own business. It's different if you're working for yourself than if you're working for someone else. It's just not a guaranteed income. That excites me. I enjoy challenge. At the start, the founders were myself, but was joined by Blake Wilson, who is still with us. Blake is a geologist. Susan Furstad, who was an administrative person. Travis Goodwin was a natural resources person, and then Kenneth Beach. Ken is a professional engineer, actually a registered architect, professional engineer.
My first meeting with Bill was in the early to mid part of 2001, when he came to talk to us about starting this new company. 4 of us were already working together at another company, and he wanted to do something different. Before he could do that, he needed to speak to us and find out whether we would be willing to join him on the journey.
He gave me an ultimatum: you can go or you can go. I met with Bill maybe 20 minutes after that and said, Bill, I don't know you from Adam, you don't know me, but I'm willing to give it a year. Let's see what happens.
September 1st, 2001, we started Shrewsberry and Associates. And they chose the name. I was modest to say whatever you want to call it, and they said, Bill, everyone knows your name, why don't we just put that name in the company? And so we did.
The early days of Shrewsberry, it would be really difficult for us to turn down work.
We were just the environmental division. We were doing phase 1 environmental assessments.
But those only were 10 to maybe 14 days, and the margins weren't real good.
So obviously we wanted to try and expand that when it made sense.
Which caused us to look beyond environmental. Is there something else, another service we could provide?
Bill knew a lot of people asking him what his company did and can he do this.
Bill's like, yeah, we can do that. We'd all look at each other and go, what? Okay, let's do it.
There was an air of confidence that he gave you that we're going to do this and it's going to be just fine.
But then along comes the airport. They're going to build this new site between the 2 runways, and before you ever get started, you need to know what is the composite of the Earth. So we got involved in doing all the geotechnical analysis, which grew in getting us more involved with Don and the planners at the airport.
Everything from moving the interstate, the 70, overseeing the tower, several small buildings, all that parking, the roads and so on. I mean, that's a bunch of projects.
All of those elements have to come together. And then you have to think about how is it going to operate? Is it functional? And that's the value of having a partner like Shrewsberry.
The airport was a 10-year relationship.
Just about everybody had touched that project.
When I fly through Indianapolis, I cannot help but be proud of the work that we did.
It was just a huge success.
We were able to continue to grow and move from just an environmental firm to a firm that was doing engineering, that was doing project management on big projects. After the airport, we worked at Lucas Oil Stadium, Convention Center, smaller projects, Cultural Trail. I am pleased when I ride by there and say we had a part to do that.
At the same time we were doing that, we were looking at doing transportation work.
Over on 465 on the west side. So we got into the engineering of interstates and transportation. We worked with Eskenazi. They converted a Circuit City into a health clinic.
We took the existing shell of the Circuit City building and we renovated it. And then we added 38,000 square feet. And after I left there, I worked on Indiana University Saxony Hospital, where I was actually the lead as the owner's technical rep.
I've worked on some really cool projects. The one I just came off in Denver, it's the Hotel and Transit Center. That I am passionate about.
We do water resources and all that might go with that.
Pretty much anything to do with water on the municipal side.
So this project area that we're standing in right now is part of the Citizens Energy Group Septic Tank Elimination Program. This is the White River, which floods frequently. So as you can imagine, as the water level rises, it's flowing over these septic tanks. The bacteria, any human waste can be carried out, which is not a good thing for anyone that might come in contact with the river, any drinking water that's pulled. So really this is all about cleaning up Indianapolis's rivers as much as we can.
Landscape services. One of our employees, a registered landscape architect.
Landscape architecture is where people live and how we interact with those spaces. A couple of the projects that we are currently working on is the State Street project in West Lafayette. Another one that we're really excited about for the city of Indianapolis is 16 Tech. It's the development that's going to put Indianapolis on the map as a biotech research center.
We've done a lot of big and small, seen and unseen projects, but all of those have been valuable in growing in expertise and our degree of service that we provide.
After we were about 3 years into the business, I drafted a vision called No More Swiss Cheese. And if you look back here, the long-term 3 to 10 year picture for the company was our organization of about 37 people. And I thought this was really stretching it. We blew past that 40-person level within 8 years.
In the consulting business, 20 people is a pretty good sized company. 40 people is a better company. 60 people, you're into a whole different realm.
So probably about 5 years ago, we started to look at other areas.
We're doing work right now consistently in 6 states.
What was difficult for us was how we would make sure that our culture was evident out in those offices. Early on, Bill met or interviewed every single employee.
So that I could know that person. I've seen your resume, but I want to know who you are, what really comes out in just conversation.
I interviewed with Mr. Shrewsberry, and I think that he realized that I was nervous. The first question he actually asked me was,
"So how's the family?" They think he knows the family. He goes, "Well, who do you know?" No, I'm just asking how your family is. I was in one interview where he only asked one question. And I'm like, well, that's the end of that. Walked out and said, hire the person, be perfect for us. Been a great employee ever since. It's bizarre.
I just had a feeling about Bill Shrewsberry. He told me that I don't have anything for you right now, but let's keep on talking. And I put my eggs in the basket and I said, I'm going to wait till this guy hires me.
I think people are essentials. We're an engineering business. We don't make widgets. We provide human service. You have to be able to be a good engineer, a good geologist, but fit in with that is sort of the personality.
I always tell people that you know a Shrewsberry employee when you see one.
I always say the people I work with, no one works for you.
There's 2 ways to run the company. You can be organized like this, and there's the boss at the top, everybody else get out of the way. But the real key, as he says, is when people are working like that.
Some have graduated from our firms. I tell them, it's bittersweet. I hate to see you go, but am I proud that I was able to help you? We've had 3 or 4 that have started their own company. That makes me feel good and excited.
what I'm proud of about Shrewsberry is the diversity.
There was a period of time when it was obligated to have diversity, and then it became the right thing to do, and then it became just good business.
National firms and others have found these guys do good work, and they're a minority. It's almost a twofer in those whole terms, but we've really tried to broaden our perspective on diversity of staff.
I want to see young, old, men, women, different races.
We're diverse by religion, we're diverse by education.
These younger generations think much, much differently than myself.
I have a passion for teaching. The little that I know, I want to be able to pass it on to a younger generation.
Reverse mentoring. Sometimes we learn a lot from our entry-level engineers.
I could tell the young and old were talking and working together.
It's like I get to go to a big city, but I've got the family feel of a small town.
Where everyone knows who everyone else is.
It is like a family here.
It's the honesty, it's the integrity, it's the caring for each other.
The future for Shrewsberry & Associates is strong. We've done well. But I'm not one to rest on laurels or become complacent. Our goal is to keep it not expanding by number, but expanding by quality of work that we do and the level of work that we do.
We can take the lead role and prefer to take the lead role because we know we're qualified.
We have people who are passionate about what they do.
I see bright things in the future as we continue forward and grow with different clients inside of Indiana and also across the United States as we expand.
I think we're a force to be reckoned with in the industry.
Clients can rely on us. They know that when we commit to something, we will go above and beyond.
People are starting to understand what we do and how we do it.
And it's only going to get better.
So I just love to see the work that we have done because it's a testament to people working together.
In our 15 years, this city has changed a lot, and we've been part of that. And so normally, as I'm riding around or going to a meeting, I'll think back as to we played a part, and that is rewarding.